Ladies and gentlemen, the following is another phenomenal episode of the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. In one corner, we have the greatest thing on God's green earth. No, we're not talking about money, Mary Jane, or Popeye spinach. He's the tranquil dart of Ringside Society and Delaware's greatest American hero. It takes two to make a thing go right. He's Rob Bass, and you are not. And the second corner, we have that ocean crossing, straight up bossing, flight catching, shot glass snatching, always positive, life is great, repping 592, living in the 718, straight facts, no cap, the worldwide star boy, Remy Blue. And our special guest tonight is a man who graduated from one of the best wrestling schools in the world. He recently took part in their student showcase, their third student showcase, and he is the cousin of AEW superstar, the master of the Tornado DDT, Fuego del Sol. Everybody, welcome to the show, Nightmare Factory Class 3 graduate, the Assassin AK47. Brah! Woo!
Thank you, guys. I'm excited to be here. This is awesome. That was a great introduction. I love that.
Thanks, man. I try every now and then, but Rob is actually the real ring announcer here. He does it at the 1CW shows over there in Delaware.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah, but hey, honestly speaking, thank you very much for this. It's an honor to speak to another student of the Nightmare Factory. I don't know if you've been watching our past shows, but we've had several people from there, from classes 1, classes 2, and even some from classes 3. So it's always a great. It's always a great. Yeah, it's always a great time to have y'all on here and hear y'all's stories. And I gotta tell y'all, man, y'all student showcases, man. I haven't seen the rest of Showcase 4 yet. That was the one where your fellow classmate, Katie Hebner, was in that tag team match, and she made one of the girls tap out, and she was like the smallest in that group in that match. But yeah,
shout out to her, man. She's great.
Yeah, man. So how's everything going on? You're in I think you're in Kentucky, I think, right? Or is it Alabama?
Alabama, yeah.
Oh, okay, awesome. How's everything over there, man?
Everything's great. The weather's good now. We got out of February. February's usually kind of not too great to us, but we're in March now. Everything's kind of looking up for us, getting to spring. We kind of get to spring a little early down here, so it's looking nice.
Awesome. That's cool. So with that being said, man, so this is not your first rodeo with professional wrestling. You were actually wrestling before, because I saw on your cousin Fuego's page, he was saying that you took a break.
Right, yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong, he said you were inspired by him doing his thing on AEW to actually make a return to professional wrestling.
Definitely, yeah, definitely inspired. He always wanted me to get back into it. We first started out training together. I was 17. I think he was 18 at the time, or vice versa. But yeah, it was great. We started out training together. Then he moved to Oklahoma, and I stayed here in Alabama for a while. Then we kind of got separated from that. Then I started going to college, and I went to college for 4 years. And I just stopped wrestling after I went to college because I wanted to focus more on that, get my degree. Then finally, late 2020, December 2020, I graduated and got my degree in broadcast journalism. And Fuego invited me out to a Nightmare Factory. They was filming a vlog or something like that for Sammy's vlog. And I went to the Nightmare Factory. I saw everybody training. That was in camp 2. And I really got inspired then. I was like, I realized how much I missed this, how much I really love wrestling. And like, I don't know why I let it pass me by, because I was really into it. And like I said, college just steered me a different path. And I just kind of like, just doing my own thing. Then when I got out of college and my mind opened up again to for wrestling, I was like, wow, like, wait a minute. Like, I can get back into this and actually, really strive and go for my dreams this time. So yeah, shout out to Fuego. He really helped me out with that. He hooked me up with QT and Cody. They definitely helped me out. and it's been a great ride ever since.
Yeah, and I gotta say, congrats. I mean, kudos to you on going back to college and getting it done and so on. It takes a lot of patience to do that, and in a way, you set yourself up for even more longevity because you majored in broadcasting and journalism.
Yes.
So I always say another part of pro wrestling in my eyes that makes the pro wrestling wheel go round is commentary. It's also backstage interviewing because those people bring you the action that you're watching from the comfort of your own home, or the neighborhood bar, or wherever you're watching the pay-per-view at. So if for some reason the your in-ring career doesn't pan out, which I highly doubt that would be, because we're going to talk about that match in a second. You can
Mhm.
always fall back on commentary and whatnot. But yeah, man, I got to say, speaking of I'm gonna touch on that match. That match you faced another relative of a WWE superstar,
Yeah.
undeniable Michael Martinez,
Hmm.
who is brother of Damian Priest. We didn't even know that. We were like, he said he had on his Instagram bio that Martinez. So I'm like, I
Right.
guess that Martinez, but I had no clue he was talking about Punisher
Right.
Martinez.
Yeah. When I first met him, I didn't know either. Like I didn't know. Like I think like I forgot how many weeks was into the camp before I even realized it, or maybe like in a few days. I don't know. I can't. It's so jumbled up in my head because we had a 12-week camp, so everything's kind of all mixed together. But yeah, I remember that when I first met him, and we actually first met at camp 2. We didn't start camp 3 yet. That's when I first saw him because he was kind of doing what I was doing. I was like watching camp 2 and getting ready for camp 3 type of thing, and we both decided we wanted to train at Nightmare Factory. So yeah, it was kind of a shock to me when I first started. I was like, wait, that's insane. Then when he said that, I put the faces together. I was like, oh, that makes so much sense now. So that was cool.
That was a pretty great match. Yeah, and you didn't even take no lefts either. You were like obviously the smaller one
Right. Yes.
in that match, but you were like doing your thing, and I'm like, man, this guy is gonna be one to watch out for. And I was just impressed by that match as well. I tell y'all, for those of y'all that are watching, check out the student showcases. Check out the Nightmare Factory. Go on YouTube and put in Nightmare Factory Student Showcase. You don't have to pay for it. You don't have to worry about, oh, it's gonna cost money. No, the only thing you have to pay is just a couple hours of your time. And I know some of y'all got a couple hours of your time. Check it out. You will not be disappointed. Every time I see them, I have that OMG reaction on my face. Each one, I guarantee you will not be bored. And y'all definitely do some really great work down there, man. Like I'm like, honestly, I'm really truly hoping that I see AEW Dark,
Mm.
Assassin AK47 versus such and such. Or hell, even
That'd be
speaking of distance, the Assassin AK47 is all elite. Now you're gonna join, and then we see you and your cousin and the
mhm.
star God, Sammy Guevara, three of y'all in the ring, kicking butt, taking names.
that
I
that sounds amazing. I would love that. That'd be awesome. Uh, I would love to be in the same company, especially with Fuego. Me and him go way back. We grew up together as my first cousin. We basically grew up like he's like my next door neighbor. Like he was right down the road, and we just always wrestled together, like in the backyard. So like he's my first cousin, but he's also my best friend. Like we like always together. So being in the same company as him and like being around him and wrestling would truly mean a lot. Like I would love to like get the tag team with him or something. That'd be cool down the road. And being on AEW Dark, that's another goal of mine. One day I get there. And thank you. I appreciate the kind words about the match. I was very nervous that night. It was my first match back after 4 years, so being away for a while and being in front of that many people, and Cody's there, QT's there, a lot of coaches there. Baron Black was there. Like everybody was there. You know, Alan Angels. So many great guys were there watching, and also the trainees were there. People from Camp 2 were there. It's just Camp 1. And also, there's just so many people, and also the YouTube views. Like so many YouTube views, you get so many eyes on you. That being my very first match back, you know, it was very nerve wracking, but I got through it, and I feel like I'm just getting better and better each day. Each match I have, been getting better. So that's what I've been striving for. So thank you guys, and appreciate the kind words for that.
Yeah, man. Like y'all definitely put in. It's the least we could do, man. Y'all definitely put in great work and all that. And I know that wrestling is not easy. I've never gotten into a ring. If anybody knows anything about in-ring action and taking bumps, Rob Basovic, he's a referee for 1CW. But yeah, I respect what y'all do. I've seen some of the stuff y'all do, and I'm like, look, yeah, I tip my hat out. I can't do it. I'm too old for that, and two, yeah, I know my look. I'll probably like end up in the hospital or something on my first like or second tryout, but
Mm-hmm.
or second day, man. But I tip my hat off to y'all, man. Like I know it's not easy, and you know I've heard stories of people like going to the Nightmare Factory, and you know it's 12 weeks, but it's 12 weeks of intense training, and some people didn't finish and all that. So trust me, I understand. I have a pretty good idea. I'm not gonna say I know, but I have a pretty good idea of what y'all go through. But so I gotta ask you, man. Let's take a trip back in time. How did your love for wrestling start? Like, what was the match or the main event that started it for you? Who was the relative that you saw watching it, and you were curious as to what they were watching and so on?
One specific memory I have from like I couldn't tell you my very first time watching wrestling because I just know I was really young when it happened. My step grandpa got me into it. He was a big wrestling fan. I couldn't tell you the exact age, maybe like 3 or 4, where I was kind of cognizant of what was going on a little bit. And I was born in 96, so this had to be around like 2000, 2001. So I want to say it was around that time when, it was Triple H, Jericho, HBK, like DX, like all that. That era right there was just so awesome to witness. Like I couldn't say like the exact match, my very first match, but I remember just the whole idea of wrestling got me into it. When I watched one show and I saw all these guys coming out to these cool entrance music, and they was wearing like like the great gear, and then these great promos they were cutting, and like I was like, oh, this feels so, and the fans were so into it. They had the signs, they had everything, and I was like, this is awesome. Like I was hooked ever since then. And I really started watching wrestling. Like, everyone, I grew up on Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown, like always watching it. Like I wouldn't miss a week. Like it was always, if it was on, I was there watching it. I made sure I even had some rituals, man. I was like, nobody talk to me. I'm closing my door. It's Raw time, this is my time. It was all like for like years and years and years, just watching wrestling. And I figured, hey, like when I grew up around, I say like 14, 15, Fuego was the same way. And we it's like, hey, let's go in the backyard and try some moves out. Like we'll watch wrestling on TV. It's like, hey, let's see if we can do this on trampoline. Let's mess around. Then we was messing around for a while. And it's like, you know what? Let's put this on YouTube and see what happens. And YouTube was totally different back then. And it was like, let's just put it on YouTube. Then man, like we put a video out on YouTube and it blew up like crazy. So many views, and like we got to keep doing this. Like people seem to like us. So then we started getting all little characters on storylines, and rest is history from there. So it's been a great journey in wrestling, and I'm so happy I got back into it and just loving it even more.
Yeah, that's great, and it's great that y'all grew up with it, and y'all still stick with it, and it's working out for the most part for y'all. And because we've had so many people, so many guests that have said, yeah, it was them and their cousin or their sister or their brother, but one of them, that cousin, sister, or brother or relative, they fell off, they stopped watching, and now they're still, carrying on. But y'all still keep on with it, and like I said, it's definitely working out. That's pretty awesome, and I wish nothing but the best. I really, yeah, I really truly hope that Tony Khan that check. I'm serious, like no cap. I'm not saying this because because it's a great thing when you see two best friends, two cousins, two brothers you
Right.
know, or husband and wife, they both get to be in this work to be in that same place and do what they enjoy doing. And I really hope that happens for you, man. That'd be pretty awesome.
Thank
Shoots.
you.
Maybe you could form a stable with Sammy. You with Fuego and Sammy Guevara, and y'all, you
Yeah.
know, I mean, it's being implied that he in a circle maybe breaking up. So hey, and AEW is gangland territory. So you need a couple of friends, you need a couple of buddies. Hey,
There you go. I
just
mean,
saying,
it's set up perfectly. I mean, you're saying all the right things. Like I would love that. This is all great wisdom and advice from is hearing from you. Like I would love all this, but you never know. I'm still on the indies doing my thing. Got to start somewhere, trying to
yeah.
get better. Hopefully, one day I get up to that point. Me and Fuego can get together, and Sammy. Maybe when the trios titles come around in AEW, I can be a part of that with them. So that'd be cool.
Yeah, I've heard rumors of that. Um, I hope it's true that they do bring it out, but now that they have Ring of Honor under their banner, it makes you wonder if they're actually going to use those now. I'm curious as to what's going to happen with Ring of Honor. I wonder if they're going to absorb it. I hope they don't. I'd rather they not,
Mm-hmm.
or if they'll just keep it as it is and just have a different roster for that, which would be cool. I wouldn't mind that. I'm all for that as well. You know, but yeah, I'm very glad that Ring of Honor, is. I'm glad, but I'm worried because I mean, it's great that Tony Khan bought it, but what is he going to do? It gives so many great wrestlers that we see today. So I'm just curious. So you mentioned that you and your cousin, you guys did videos and they went viral and so on.
Yeah.
Was that the start? Correct me. Was it KBW? That was the name
Yeah.
of it, right?
KBW. Yep.
Was that the start of KBW? Because I heard about that before, and
That
yeah,
was the start of it. Basically, yeah, we was together in trampoline wrestling. We was rolling around on trampoline. I was like 13, 14, I'll say, maybe even 12-ish, somewhere around there. Then we said, hey, let's decide to put these, put on YouTube that we wrestling on trampoline, and it blew up, man. Like insanity. Like I couldn't even believe my eyes how fast you know, we grew as a channel. At the end of the day, like right now, we have 155,000 subscribers, and over a cumulative time, we gotten up to like 25 million views, like overall. So insanity to me.
wow,
Still can't believe that actually happened.
you know what that reminds me of? Reminds me of another one of my favorite tag teams. And when they first started out, I went crazy because of their style. I'm talking about none other than the Hardy Boys,
Yep.
Matt and Jeff. I think that's how. And for those of y'all that are listening, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's how Omega started, and it grew to have like so many big names come out of it, and it was just two guys that were on a trampoline wrestling. So I don't know, mate. You know what, Rob? I say you and I maybe start a trampoline company or whatnot. I'll be ring announcer. I'll be ring announcer because I'm not gonna take no bumps. But maybe you and one of your friends. No, I'm
I
just
don't know if
kidding.
I could be jumping on a trampoline like that. I'm 40, man. I'm a man. I'm 40. You know what I mean? I'll be on there like a couple times, like, all right, yeah, but the ankles and knees are, I'm good. Got stand on the outside.
Shoot, yeah, I'm too old to be doing all that jumping, man. I'm up there in age too, man. So yeah, I can't really do all that stuff. But yeah, but hey, kudos to y'all for for making that happen and going viral and it even becoming popular because like when I remember they mentioned talking about Fuego del Sol and then they mentioned that company and I was like, oh snap, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool that what y'all did and so on, man. Yeah.
Thank you. I
So
really appreciate that.
yeah. So I gotta say, man, the Assassin, when you
Right.
came here, you had like a dark press, like like you could tell this guy was going there to do a hit, man. I was like, man, Michael, you a bigger dude, and you're undeniable. But I don't know if I don't know what's gonna happen with you, man. I mean, you might be guy, he came out here like with the hoodie and everything. And he was like, you know, like he about like I was like, man, I don't know, Michael. You might need your manager for this, man. The Silver Fox, you might need him too.
Yeah.
But yeah, how do you come up with that name, the Assassin, man?
It came from YouTube. Like I've been using this name since I started in the backyard wrestling. That's where it came from, and I love longevity, so I wanted to keep it. That's just who I am, and I started around like when I was 16 or 17. I just started calling myself the Assassin AK47, and I came up with these catchphrases. I was always said that I am who I am, and I'm different from everybody else. And I started saying that, and that just my go-to catchphrase all the time, saying I was different from everybody else. I was the assassin. I wanted to do like something no one was doing at the time on the backyard scene, and I wanted to have the best promos. I wanted to really just shine in that light, and just be someone that wasn't just strictly like, he's a good technician, he's a good wrestler. I wanted I wanted my personality to shine through more, and my charisma and all that, and how I can be on the mic and show that I can be intimidating and ruthless when it needs to be. And I feel like that came across, and I feel like that came across even on YouTube too, because it helped me so much build this character as I built it to today. And I'm still using the Assassin because it's my roots, it's what I know, and something I've been doing for a while, and something I want to continue to do, and try to get more people behind me, more people to believe in the Assassin. And, it'd be so cool to like one day my catchphrase like catches on, and everybody says they different too. That's my whole thing. I want everybody to stay different from everybody else. Be your, don't have to be just like everybody, and everybody has their own way and their own lane, and everybody can choose their own destiny. And that's what I'm doing. That's what my main message is for that catchphrase. So it's been great so far. And also, I'm a huge gamer as well, so I kind of got the Assassin from Assassin's Creed, and I always thought that was cool. So just shout out to that. That's another little nod where I got the Assassin character from.
That's great, man. That's definitely a great origin of that story. So KBW, do you see it going further? Like eventually, like y'all actually like how Omega was, when they because I think and y'all, like I said, for those y'all watching, I don't know everything, so correct me whenever I'm wrong. So Omega, they had a pay-per-view a couple of months ago. Do you see KBW going that route too, like having their independent pay-per-views and being on Title Match Network or Fight TV, having certain specials and so on?
Man, that would be great. I would love that. Me and Fuego kind of like own it, if you want to say. Like me and him are both like co-owners of it, so I definitely have to talk to him about it, what we like both want to do. But that'd be very cool. I could definitely see it. We haven't really done anything with KBW because it's more like it stood for kids backyard wrestling, and we're not really kids anymore. So maybe when I do like a little bit of rebranding there, and kind of name it something else, or just change the K to like Kings or something. But it's not really backyard wrestling either. So it's Kids of Backyard Wrestling. That's what KBW stands for. So it's kind of we probably have to rebrand it, call it something else. But we still have that core fan base there. Like the subscribers are still there. If we post a video, they'll be there watching. So I would literally love to do something with that channel. We could probably rebrand it, do something like I said what Kenny Omega did. If I think maybe it might catch on. And if we have like not just me or Fuego, even some KBW alumni back from the dead, wherever they are, we had a lot of great other guys as well on KBW, and they're not into wrestling as much as us, but if we can find them and get them back, that'd be fun as well. To just some little nostalgia for people who followed us for over the years and huge fans of us. So that would be really cool if we could make that happen.
Yeah, that'd be. I was just about to ask you, like, what happened to the rest of the guys? And yeah, hey, KBW alumni, if y'all seeing this, he's looking for y'all to come back. Who knows?
Oh yeah.
Maybe the bug will bite them too on Nightmare Factory Class 5 or Class 6. You'll see a bunch of them from there too. And like I said, I'm not making fun. But you might see them, and then they might kill it too, and be like, somebody be like, know where they came from? They came from KBW. That's that KBW style. Y'all gonna learn.
Oh yeah, yeah, man. Like it's so cool because like we're all of us are Native American, and we are basically from this small community of our tribe, and we have so many like people like our age group was always together, and they wanted to wrestle too. We all thought it was cool when we was growing up. So we had like a lot of guys who just wrestled. They had different names, you know, they had their own like characters as well. Like we built like a whole roster. We had like 17 to 18, like we had like a pretty good bit for a YouTube channel, like a backyard wrestling, to have that many like people, the different matches, different storylines, to have that many people was huge for us. And it definitely and I really hope when like some of the guys, like there was really people that you know, Fuego's little brother, D-Man, we called him D-Man. He's really good from backyard wrestling, and he was like the high flyer and stuff, so he was great. So it'd be fun for him to come back. We had some other guys that can really do good if they actually put their head into it and their heart into it, into actual professional wrestling, and want to get on the indies. So I would love for them to come back, but it's been so long now, and some of them have kids and married, so I don't know if they want to come back, but we'll see. Hopefully one day.
Yeah, and I always say that even if not as a wrestler, you know, we here at Ringside Saturday, we actually say there's more than, you know, there's more than one component that makes the wrestling wheel turn around. There's
That's true.
referee, because you need a referee to call the match, right? Or else it's gonna be one long endless fight. You know, you got ring announcers. They're the ones that introduce the wrestlers. You have commentators. So I mean, you know, even if you don't want to wrestle anymore, that's the beauty of the wrestling industry. There's so many other avenues you can take to be a part of the industry. And yeah, I just got two more questions before I turn it over to Rob.
Okay.
And my second to last question is, you know, now that you've graduated and you're pretty much, you know, you got that handshake from your coach, pat on the back and said, okay, you are now you are now an official graduate of the Nightmare Factory. You can now go out there and take bookings and kick butt all over the country, if not all over the world. Who are your top five opponents, professional wrestling world, that you want to face? They could be from anywhere: WWE, AEW, Impact, MLW, the Indies. Heck, you could even have another. You could even want another round with one of your KBW alumni. Who are your top five that you'd like to wrestle in the near future?
Near future. I'm trying to see how I want to put this, because like I'm on the indies right now, so there's a lot of indie guys that are on the indies that I want to wrestle right now, and probably more likely, since they're on the indies as well, we can get booked and hopefully have a match. The AEW and WWE side, I mean, I don't know how likely that would be, but of course there's a lot of guys that I love to wrestle on both brands. But I'm trying to see how I want to do this. If I want to do like maybe 3 indie guys and do one AEW, or do one WWE, or do this, or use this. It's like 5 right now. Like I have to wrestle them. Like how would you want me to answer this? Like
I mean,
it's hard.
Or you could do more than 5. I mean, hey, it's
Okay.
I normally just say 5, but you know, you could choose how.
All right, so I'm just going to go off of just who I really like, would love to get in the ring with right now. Definitely Jordan Oliver. I really like Jordan Oliver. I actually he done some backyard wrestling as well, and we kind of crossed paths like once, so that was cool. And I love wrestling Jordan Oliver. That'd be a fun one. KC Navarro. I like KC a lot. I think he's really, really good. I love the wrestle KC Navarro. Who else? Sammy Guevara. Like maybe that would be. I know he's really tight with Fuego, and I remember Fuego and Sammy's relationship is so like funny to me, because I saw it basically how, you know, it bloomed into like what it is today. And you know, Fuego's untold the story 100 times about how him and, you know, Sammy got together. But I remember like going to a show that Fuego and Sammy were on. That's when I saw like Sammy wrestle for the first time, and I'm like, man, this dude is great. Like it's so awesome. And that was like 7, maybe 6, I don't know, 5, 6 years ago, maybe 4, I don't know for sure. But it was somewhere in Texas. Anyway, seeing him from that match and seeing where he is right now, like I know we'll put on a banger match. And like I know I know he's learned so much since then, and I know I'll learn so much from him. So that'd be a great match I want to pursue. Also Blake Christian. I love wrestling Blake Christian. He's one of the top indie guys right now, that'd be nuts. I would love that. Like that would definitely be one of the guys I would love to wrestle. So that's 4. And all right, what my last one want to be? Man, it's tough because there's so many guys out there right now that's doing great stuff. And I want to pick like the huge names right now that'll eventually come. Dante Martin. I would love to wrestle Dante. I think he was awesome. So yeah, those are the top 5 for me right now.
Hey, maybe we could see you and Fuego in a tag team against Dante and his brother, because Darius is back now, and they had a pretty good.
That would be awesome. I wasn't even thinking about that.
Yeah,
that'd be sick. Me and Fuego against Top Flight. Book it. Somebody book it.
Hey, a lot of AEW people, a lot of AEW, men and women, they do indie bookings, so you never know. Yeah. But you mentioned Blake Christian. I just gotta say, WB and the gang, they messed up with that guy. They should have left that guy alone. That's a guy you leave and you build. But I got a feeling he'll be all right. The man, you can't keep a good man down.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be great in this business, man. He could be.
So, my last question: when you're getting ready for a match, when you're getting in the zone for a match, or when you're at the gym working out, doing some cardio and doing some reps, what are some songs that get you into that zone to knock out that workout, or get in the zone, getting that for your match?
Well, it's funny because I would say I could probably a few songs actually that I can think of, but there's 2 artists that I make my main go-tos that are I'm a huge fan of. It's Logic. I'm a huge fan of Logic. He makes some really great gym music. I listen to him a lot. Very hype music, and I also listen to this guy called NF. NF is also a great artist to listen to for gym. So those 2 guys are my main in rotation right now because they just make hard hitting get you pumped up for songs. So I can choose from. I choose 100 by NF. That's one. Logic has a song called Flexecution. I put Flexecution on there. What's 3? Just so many. I listen to so many songs. I don't know. Let me look at my gym playlist right now. I can rattle it off. I'll tell you right here, right now. It's right here. Cause I can see what I just listen to. So it'd be NF again. It'd be No Excuses. That's a good song. No Excuses, Options, and 100 by NF is one of my top 3 I go to for gym. Then like I said, that Logic song, Flexecution, and Contra by Logic is also a good. So that's my top 5 right now.
Logic is definitely a great rapper. I've heard a few of his songs, and yeah, the man.
Yeah, I love Logic. I've been to a few of his concerts, so it's been fun.
Yeah, a guy that I'm actually warming up to in terms of music is this, and I grew up in the era of Jay-Z and Nas and them, but today's hip hop, I tend to miss people, but a guy that I'm actually getting impressed with is West Side Gun. He's definitely a guy whose music. And the crazy thing about it, he's also a wrestling fan. He actually paid for a wrestling student's fees, like their school fees for them to finish training. So that shows love right there for the business. That you're willing to do that for somebody. That's pretty cool. But yeah, but I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to Rob. Rob asked some questions for you. Rob, go ahead, man. The floor is yours.
All right, sweet. Thanks, Remy. So what's going on, AK, man? How's everything going today?
Everything's going good, Rob. How are you?
Oh, I'm well. Just hanging out, chatting with y'all, man. Trying to keep my hounds out of the room, you know what I mean? Because, sometimes, they'll come in and start a ruckus, and there I am, on here trying to, ask questions, fighting some beagles off, It's like, man, they get a little vicious sometimes. So I had to bribe them with some treats, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I gotta ask, man, when you got back into training at the factory, man, how was that going back to training? Man, was it like, oh man, I remember doing this. This is all coming back to me, man, like that, you know what I mean? Or were you like, oh, yeah, I might need a little more practice, you know what I mean, before I can get back, into things.
Well, I feel like the first day, like I don't think I was officially training yet. I think in camp 2, because I was like watching camp 2. That was like the last 2 weeks, and I remember, like I said, I haven't been in the ring in so long. That's like one of my first times being back in the ring, and like it's so like nervous. I was nervous because like Cody's there, and he was like I remember being there. He's like, oh yeah, we have a special guest. I'm like, oh no, I'm not a special guest. I'm just I just want to train a little bit. So I feel like that like people looked at me like, oh, who is this guy? And I'm like, I wasn't really like ready yet to be because I haven't been in the ring forever. So I'm like, oh God, I'm probably gonna mess up. I'm gonna do something and people think I'm not good or whatever. Then yeah, like when I first got in the ring, I was like, okay, I'm pretty sure I remember like I remember most of everything, how to getting into some stuff. But man, I was totally wrong. I was so like, I feel like I was so out of the loop, and like I definitely needed more practice. And that's when I was like, yeah, I definitely got to do the 12-week camp and basically retrain all over again, because like I can just tell like I needed that. I also needed my cardio needed to be better. Just everything just needed to be like I needed that for myself. Like it's not just like like I thought, just riding a bike. I know how to ride a bike now. I get on a bike right now. I haven't rode a bike in 10 years, but I know how to ride it. Mm-hmm. That's what I thought when I was going into the ring, and I messed up something. I was like, oof, man, I shouldn't. I was like, I need to actually, this ain't as easy as I thought it was in my head. It's like, oh, this is actually hard, and it's even harder now. From when I first started. So definitely, I was kind of a little in over my head a little bit when I first started. And I was like, definitely need more practice. Then we did a 12-week program, and I feel like I was getting better and better each and every day, week by week. I felt I was getting to my own, like getting better and getting more comfortable in the ring. So that definitely, yes, it was definitely needed a little bit more practice from the first days.
Yeah, so after you shook that rust off and all, you're like, okay, yep, here we go, man. I'm doing the thing now. See,
sure.
That reminds me, man. That reminds me, I watched this movie not long ago, Nobody, with Bob Odenkirk. There was like a fight scene in there, and he was like, I don't know what he did. He did something, and he's sitting here trying to fight the guys, and you can see it all coming back to him, like, oh man, I know how to do this, but the punches weren't connected. Then all of a sudden, as he kept going and going, yeah, things start happening. He started remembering. It was like, there you go, that was awesome. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's kind of how. Yeah, it's kind of how our situation was. It took longer than I thought. I would say that.
Now I was watching some of your matches and stuff, man. One of them, man, I was like, yeah, y'all are wrestling on Legos. Like, man, how did that come about, man? Man, my dad will tell you, stepping on Legos or GI Joes at like first thing in the morning, probably one of the worst pains you ever feel in your life. You know what I mean? So
it was.
So, man, who brought on that idea, Legos? Oh.
That was definitely not my idea, because I stay away from Legos as far as possible. Those things are vicious, and I'd rather get slammed on a ladder or a table or something way more than a pile of Legos. So, yeah, the other guy was his idea. He wanted me to, like, that was his whole thing. He's like, I want you at the end of this match body slam me on these Legos. I'm like, all right, that's what you want, then that's just how it's gonna be, So that's kind of how that whole situation came to be. It was a 6-man tables match to begin with. Mm-hmm. So it was like a hardcore, like they had like this hardcore night at this indie show I was at called DCW. Tommy Dreamer was there. Tommy Dreamer and Al Snow were there, so that was pretty cool. Got to meet them. And but anyways, there was a 6-man tables match. So it was mostly like the hardcore night. And he was like, I want for us to get out of the way, because we weren't basically involved in the finish. So it was like for us to, just to get out of the finish way, he wanted me to slam on the Legos, and we go start fighting towards the back, and we just whatever. But anyways, yes, that was his idea with the whole Legos, not mine, because I would, if someone told me to, get slammed on some Legos, I'm like, how much you paying me? I might have to up the pay a little bit to get slammed.
There you go. That's right. Yeah, because I'll be in training, man, and like my trainers sometimes stuff like, man, I'm going to do a match where I'm getting thrown on thumbtacks and stuff. I'm like, why? I'm like, no, man, why are you gonna do that, man? I don't want to rep that match, man, because I don't want to go down for that 3 and be like, one. Then they're like, there's 5 thumbtacks in my wrist and hand. I'm like, oh man, I
That's
got
what I
a
feel
wrestling
like.
match. I'm pulling,
If
pulling
anything,
thumbtacks out. Like,
yes. If anything, I want to tell like indie wrestlers now, like, don't kill yourself over $30, $40. Like, it's not worth it.
yeah,
Like, if you're getting paid $40, do not kill yourself. Like, no reason to put yourself through thumbtacks and Legos or take a huge bump. You might, get seriously injured. And before, like, it's, for just something so like minimal and like might not even like be a big show. Like, save that for like the big shows. Like, don't. If there's like a little like indie show, and some of these indie shows, you don't really need to be doing all that. Like, you can get over just having a traditional, traditional style match without having to, murder. Like, you just kill each other inside the ring for 10 minutes, and the crowd you'll lose the crowd that way because they just don't. Some crowds just don't understand what's really going on.
Yeah,
and that's like the main thing. Like, don't just go out there and try to hurt yourself every single time you have a match. Like, actually be smart about it, and you can still have great matches without doing it. But there is this time and place. Like I said, like the big shows, like, oh, this is a big event. You want to bust out a huge spot, go for it. Like that, get a big pop out of that. I'm all for that. Just every single weekend, maybe not.
Yeah, I get you with that. Yeah, I mean, ECW was one of the few that can get away with that stuff. You know what I mean? So back in the day, so yeah, I get what you're saying on that. Yeah, especially nowadays, man. When I was younger, I'd watch that stuff. I'm like, yeah, more blood, more barbed wire, yeah, slam, yeah. Now, you know what I mean? As I'm older and all, I'm like, oh, you know what I mean? Yeah, no. You gotta go home and talk to your mom and dad, the friends and family, wife, kids,
Exactly.
husband, whatever. Like, yeah, no, don't do that. Yeah, like, oh man, come on. You still got a long life to live. Oh,
if it makes sense story wise, go for it. But there's no reason for if there's no reason for me to blade or get hit by something, or if there's no like really story behind it, logical sense, then I don't feel like it needs to happen personally. So
yeah, I agree with you. Now, I was watching your finishing move. Is it called the Reload? Or is that one of your? Now, how'd you come up with that, man? That move looked badass, man. I was like, yeah, man, the way you were pulling it off and stuff, like, yeah, that's an awesome move, man. How'd you come up with that stuff, man?
I didn't come up with it originally, but I haven't. There's not like I only saw one person ever do it, and that was Tyler Black. He's known as Seth Rollins now, but on the Indies he's Tyler Black. And I was watching one of his indie matches, and he it wasn't like exactly what I do. I kind of like I do a little bit different, but it's kind of the same concept. Basically, I get them like this, and I go this way, and I turn them. It's kind of like I would say it's kind of like an inverted, like crossroads technically, or like an inverted, like a net breaker type of thing. So that's what originally like came. I was like, oh, that's a cool move, and like I start watching, more of his stuff. It's like I only saw him do that one time in a match. Like it's like, man, why didn't he do this move more? And I just kept watching wrestling. I was like, well, nobody does this move, and I thought it was so cool. So, and it looks like a really dope finisher. And I was like, this is something I want to go with. And the more and more I do it, the more and more I try to perfect it and make it look even more vicious. So that's definitely one of my go-to finishers. And I think it's really like my whole like thing is being different. I think that's like a huge move that no one's doing, and that's what the main thing I like. So.
Oh yeah, because I don't think I was watching. I was like, man, I don't think I've seen anybody do that. That was probably one of the first times. I was like, all right, man, that thing is nice, man, nice and crisp. I was like, there you go.
That's what I wanted.
Good job, man. That thing was nice, man.
If I can get that over and so make people like have that same reaction when they see it, like that means so much to me. That so I'm glad you appreciated that.
Oh yeah, no problem, man. So I mean, traveling around and stuff, where is like, the farthest you traveled so far to wrestle? And on top of that, what is a place you would like to wrestle? Like, is there a specific country you would like love to go to, or state, or whatever?
There's lots of states I would love to go to wrestle. I haven't been to. I say the longest. To answer your first question, New York from Alabama. That was that was a trip. So basically, from like the bottom of the map to the top of the map. So you really can't get much further than that. I mean, unless you're driving to like California or something. But yeah, that was probably the longest. I also drove up to Pennsylvania before. I drove to North Carolina from Alabama. That's like a 9-10 hour drive. So I took a lot of travel, like a long like road trip. So I don't have no problem with that. I love like traveling. So driving to like right now, like any state say, hey, we want to book you. I don't care where they. I was like, I made sure to try to get there, and I drive there. I don't care how long it takes me to get there. So I'll love to go. And so answer your second question, California is a huge one. I would love to go out there and rest. I know they're still dealing with a lot of stuff with COVID, and so I don't know like when they like open up hugely. Arizona, also want to wrestle in Arizona. Texas is a huge market I want to wrestle for. I'm about to wrestle in North Carolina next month, so that's gonna be cool. I want to wrestle in Tennessee. It's like right above me. A lot of good spots in Tennessee. Seattle. I want to wrestle in Seattle, and I would like to do Minnesota as well. I know they're pretty great, Minnesota. So it's a lot of places, but that was like the main ones.
Now you said North Carolina. You're going next month. Is that your next match that you're appearing at?
Oh, that's not my next match. No, but that's April 29th. I'm gonna be in North Carolina. That's I forget. I found what the because like one of my friends basically like I met on the Backyard Wrestling. His name's Cameron Jackson, and he's an indie wrestler right now as well. And we kind of met through Backyard Wrestling because he had a Backyard Wrestling thing going on YouTube, kind of like the same time we were. And we kind of met through that. And he's like, hey, there's a show going on April 29th, and he wanted me to come out for it. And I was like, oh, perfect. I'd love to come out to North Carolina and wrestle. So that's going to be dope. So, yeah.
When is your next match? Do you have something this weekend or next weekend or something?
I don't have nothing this weekend, but I have something coming up. March 19th is going to be my next match. So that's probably
okay. Do you know where you're wrestling at or who you're working against?
Yeah, I'm wrestling here in Alabama. Like that's what my main. There's a main company that runs here in Alabama that I've been working for, just to get reps in. If I can't find anything else, or like they've been definitely helping me out, getting matches and getting my reps up, getting me better, and getting me good matches too. Recently, I had a match with Alex Kane, and that was huge. He's from MLW, so that I definitely learned a lot from that match, and I'm wrestling him. But the company that I work for mainly here in Alabama is AWF, the Alabama Wrestling Federation. So I'll be there in Sims, Alabama, March 19th. It's going to be a fatal four-way match, a fatal four-way elimination match, actually, with a guy named John Breslin. And I don't know the other another guy named Juice Robinson, and two other guys. I don't think they let me know who else is going to be in it, but that's the main thing going on.
Wait, Juice Robinson, as in former Impact Wrestling Tag Team Champion, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Chaos member Juice Robinson?
Juice, yeah.
Wow, that's big, man.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be
definitely gonna be awesome.
Yeah, that's what they told me. Any things in wrestling though.
Yeah.
It could change. You might not be able to make it. I know because Sabu was supposed to be at the last show I was at. He missed his flight or something. So, but that's the plan so far. From what I'm hearing so far, that's the plan. Yes.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool, man. Yeah, man, getting in the ring with him, man. Oh, that'd be awesome, man. Yeah. Hopefully, I can check it out. Yeah, they post a match on YouTube or something.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to video it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, okay. You're talking about, gaming a little bit. Like you were an Assassin's Creed fan, and you got your name, because you're a fan of Assassin's Creed. So
yeah.
I remember I got hooked on the first one with Altair. You know what I mean? Like that was my guy, and then Enzia, like they were good, man. But what was the one that got you? You played, and you're like, oh man, I like these games, man. These are awesome.
Well, I know a lot of people don't really care for it that much, and it's not. I don't think it's a great game, but it meant so much to me because I'm Native American, and Assassin's Creed 3. When you play as you play as a Native American in that game. I thought that was really cool. That it just felt great because you usually don't play as a Native American in any game, so I thought that was pretty neat, and this meant something extra to me. So I thought that was really fun. That's what really got me into them. Then I really like Brotherhood and Revelations. Those were pretty two good ones. I would say when they started adding the boat mechanics, like the ship stuff, I didn't really care too much about. Like I didn't really like ship combat, so they kind of lost me a little bit with those games. Like I didn't. What was the pirate one?
Black Flag.
Black Flag. Yeah, that one I didn't really like. But the one after that, I liked Origins with Egypt. That's like the main. That's like the last one I played. That was really, really good. I haven't played Valhalla yet. I heard it's great, so I need to get into that.
Yeah, see, I'm with the same one with you. Origins. That was the last one I played, the Egypt one. That was I like that one. That was pretty good.
That was really good.
I liked how they got back there. I haven't played Valhalla yet. My brother has. He says it's real good. You know what I mean? That he says it's real good. But the one with where you're Native American, I like that one too. Yeah, like I have a little bit of Native American in me, Nanacoke in me. You know what I mean? Nice. So I like that too. I like seeing that. You know what I mean? Pretty cool.
And I like the American Revolution as well. Like that's a cool little history timepiece. So.
Yeah, because I gotta tell people that because people be like, are you Asian? I'm like, no, I have Native American in me or whatever. You know what I mean? You gotta remember they migrated over from that way, I guess. You know what I mean? Come on, man. Like, yeah. They'd be messing with me like, nah. You know Kung Fu or something.
No, God.
I'm like, nah. I can survive in the woods, though. I can do that. That's about it. So what other games are you into, man? You say you're a gamer. Like, what are you playing right now? Or what are your, like, all-time favorites and stuff?
Oh, man. When I say I'm a gamer, I'm a huge, like, I'm a big PlayStation guy. So I'm playing Horizon Forbidden West right now. It's really good. Okay. Elden Ring's out. I've been playing some Elden Ring. That's fun. Hard game, very hard game. I have it tattooed on me though. My favorite game of all time though is how do I get this? BioShock. Ever heard of BioShock? Okay. Yeah, that's my favorite game of all time is BioShock. So love BioShock. And I'm a huge trophy guy. So on PlayStation they have like trophies, basically kind of like achievements on Xbox. And I got like close to like 90 platinums, just like 100%ing like games. Yeah, I play so many games I can't even tell you how many at this point. Red Dead 2, one of my favorite games that came out not too long ago. But as of right now, Horizon. Oh, Sifu is a great game that just came out. It's like a little indie game where like Kung Fu, and it's like super super dope. So that's awesome, and yeah, I play games pretty much every day, so it's always something new. And right now, I'm trying to get through Horizon Forbidden West. It just came out like last week. Playing some Elden Ring with some friends. It's been a fun time.
Yeah, I've heard Elden Ring's pretty good, but there's Dark Soul games, man. It's like, oh man, you gotta have some patience with those games, man. Like you gotta be on your stuff playing that. It's like, woo, it ain't for the weak of heart, man.
No, those games are brutal, man. Very brutal.
Yeah, man. You mentioned Red Dead, man. Red Dead, I love playing that online. Like, I'll get some buddies and stuff, man. Like, I remember one time, like, I don't know why they don't support it. Well, I guess I know because GTA 5 makes so much money, you know what I mean, with that stuff. But, man, I had so much fun playing Red Dead. Like, I remember my buddy and I were like, let's go to this one town. We're in the one town. We walked to the bar to start fighting. And then people just start walking in, seeing us fighting. They jumped in. And then another people, it was like a big, like, melee, people throwing each other out the door, the windows and stuff. Yeah, it was just a big bar fight. And everybody, if somebody dies, fall, and then you see them run back inside, just fight. And everybody take a break, get a couple drinks, and then bang. Oh, great, man! It's just
Red Dead Online. I played when it first came out. I played it a lot, but like you said, they haven't really been adding too much to it lately. So I don't know if they just lost focus with it. But yeah, when it first came out, I was all over it. So, and also he's wearing but we're Batman. I love the Batman game. Batman Arkham City. Those games are awesome. Arkham Knight, Arkham Origins, and new Batman's coming out tomorrow night. But I'm supposed to watch it. Like I said, it's a huge huge Batman. My favorite superhero. So it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I was gonna go, man. I seen the runtime is 3 hours, and I was like, oh man, look, I don't know if I can sit in the theater for 3 hours, man, like without like a break and. Because, oh, man.
I know. It's going to be a long one. And the bad thing is, I'm going to see the movie at like 9 o'clock at night. So it's going to be like midnight before I leave.
It's already showing over here It's already showing over here in New York because I could have seen the 3:15 showing. I'm like, okay, 3:15, get off by 5:15, get home and do this show and whatnot. And then I was like, wait a minute, what's the time? Oh, 2 hours and 58 minutes. I'll probably do it later on. I got ringside society comes first, so yeah, I'm just gonna.
What part of New York are you from?
Wait, pardon?
What part of New York are you from?
I live in Brooklyn. I'm originally from Guyana, which is in South America,
Okay.
but I live in Brooklyn, New York.
Because there might be, it's not official yet, but I'm in talks that might eventually I might move to New York, but I bet it's like later this year, around like November maybe. So it could be a possibility I'm moving up there. Is it like, well, how's the like wrestling scene up there? I heard it's pretty cool. I know.
Started. It is off the chain like Django in 2013. That's how crazy that is.
Yeah, because I might be going up to Albany. How far is Albany from you? Is it pretty far?
Albany's upstate.
Yeah.
Where I live at, there's the 5 boroughs, which is Brooklyn, the Bronx, Queens, Staten Island, and New York City.
Right.
And Albany's more like, I guess it's around Buffalo side or whatever. I may have passed through there when I was like younger, but it's definitely upstate.
But how far away is it from like the boroughs?
Probably like 5 hours. I'd say roughly 5 hours. Roughly. I think it's
far away.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, isn't that up in the mountains? That the Albany stuff's up in the mountains, right? And all that.
Yeah, I think so. I never really look. I know it's the capital of New York, but I don't know exactly like how far. I know it's definitely up there.
Yeah. But that's just I might. So who knows? I might get and try to, and I get in touch with you if I ever do.
Actually, it's not that far. I think it's hold on, let me check and see. I'm checking right now. I think it's it's not too bad. It's by car, it's 2 hours and 33 minutes.
That's not bad. Yeah, that
ain't bad.
That's decent, yeah.
It's 2 hours and 33 minutes. And that's
like I said, if that ever happens, if I do come up that way, I'll definitely hit you up again, and we'll see what hang out or do something like that, or you try to help me out with tell me about some indie shows or something, so I can get on.
If you're up for it, I mean, Delaware's not that far either, so you could always hit up Rob. Rob actually works at W, so and they're in Delaware. They just had they're not. Well, they just had Enzo at their last show.
That's awesome.
And they're gonna have Big Cass at the next one in March. So
wow.
Yeah. So the thing about New York is, if you're motivated, you can work in 3 different states. There's New York, New Jersey, and then there's also Pennsylvania, Philadelphia.
Right.
And there's also Delaware. So you have 4 states you can work in. Maybe a 5th one. I don't know how the wrestling scene is in Connecticut, but for the most part, I've living here on and off for several years. It's not a matter of if there's a wrestling show. It's where you want to go to watch wrestling. Do you want to go, to Brooklyn? Do you want to go to Queens? Do you want to go to the Bronx? Or do you just want to go to Staten Island? Or do you want to go over the Hudson River to New Jersey, which is not that far either. So yeah, it's a pretty rich scene up here.
That's awesome. Because if that happens, I was trying to think in my mind, I know there's wrestling up there. I just don't know where to go to, because I know it probably is like a totally different scene.
Yeah, there's NYWC, the New York Wrestling Connection. There's Wrestle, which is ran by Pat Buck, who works for WWE. Also, Kevin Matthews, aka KM from Impact. There's several places you go. I don't think the Bronx Wrestling Federation is working, but there's several places. There's NEWF, which runs out of Queens. There's several places.
Great. I definitely hit all those places up, because if I ever get up there, I need places to wrestle. So
yeah.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I'll look into them more.
No problem.
Anyway, I know we just went on a tangent, but let's get back to. I know Rob will have some more questions for me.
Oh yeah, no, you're good. You're good. I forget what we were talking about. BioShock or something. No, Batman games. We were talking about the Batman
Batman.
games. I think. Yeah, I actually I haven't played Origins, man. I downloaded it on my PC, man. I've been playing it. It's a Christmas one, but I can't believe I never played it. You know what I mean? Like I had the other ones. I was like, I don't know. But yeah, I'm like, why did I skip this? Like,
Origins is really,
I
really
can't.
good.
Yeah, it's a real good game. Yeah, man. So, do you have a PS5 yet, or are you still waiting, man? Are
I
you
have a
got one?
PS5. I was the first one to get one of the first ones to get one because there was a PlayStation put out this thing where you can like put your email or something. It was like basically like you email them. It's kind of like a little lottery thing they was doing. If you basically if your name gets picked, you get basically a PS5 from them. And I got so lucky, my name got picked for it. So I was one of the first people to like order one and like get it. I got it day one. So
Oh, nice.
I was super, super lucky because I know it's so hard to get one now.
Yeah. I've given up on trying to get an Xbox or a PlayStation a new one. I'm just like, you know what? I'll just wait. You know, what I mean, maybe later this year or beginning next year or something. You know, will happen. But yeah, I just given up. I'm like, all right, you know what? I'll just mess with my Xbox for now. You know, what I mean, see, whatever. And then when to get, I'll know what games are good when I get one come out. So I have a nice little library. Start playing.
Yeah.
I am ready for that. What's that? Suicide Squad kills the Justice League. I think.
Yeah, that game looks great.
That game. Oh man, yes. That's like one of the ones like I see that and I'm like, oh man, why these bootleggers got sell for $1,000, man? Why? God.
Yeah,
I'm gonna find somebody at a yard sale. Like, yeah. Here's a yard sale. We're selling this PS5 for like $200. Like, oh, I'll take it. You know what I mean? Like, here we go. Something.
Yeah, this probably gonna be high for a long time.
Mm-hmm. So I do got ask, man, real quick. Do you have any new movies or TV shows you're watching right now? Because I'm always trying to find something new, man. I get stuck watching the same stuff like comfort shows in movies. I'm always trying to open up, broaden my horizons.
Well, like TV show wise, I just recently got done with Ozark. Ozark's one of my favorite shows on Netflix. So
yeah,
if you haven't watched Ozark yet, definitely watch Ozark. One of my favorite Netflix shows. Cobra Kai, love Cobra Kai. It's a fun one. Because I was a huge fan of Karate Kid. When I went back and watched those, so that was fun. TV shows, movies? Movies. I don't know if I've seen. What's the last movie that I've seen that was pretty good? I recently rewatched. I love the trilogy of the Planet of the Apes movies. Those movies are really good. Yeah, I recently watched Planet of the Apes, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, and War. So it's like a trilogy. If you haven't watched those movies, those are like really, really good movies. Like one of my favorite movies of all time. Actually, they were so good. Then I'm about to watch the Batman tomorrow night, of course. So that'll be I'll see how that movie goes, how good it is. I watched Netflix had a movie called Don't Look Up. Had Leonardo DiCaprio, Jonah Hill.
I watched that. Mm-hmm.
It was good. I liked it. It went different than I thought it would go. It was pretty neat. And but yeah, those are like the main. I'll say the main ones. And yeah, that's what.
See, the newest one I've seen was a Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds. Like, watched that a couple days ago. That was real good. I didn't think it was gonna be that good. I was like, okay, I like this one. This one was real good.
Yeah, that was a hilarious movie. I love that movie.
Oh yeah, it was great. Yeah, the Batman. Spider-Man, yes. Yes.
That was the big one I recently watched in theaters. So.
Yeah, the Batman. See, tomorrow I might see what time it starts playing in the morning. See how froggy I am. Maybe get a little Red Bull or something. Try. Because if I do, I'm going to definitely sneak a cheesesteak and some fries in there. You know what I mean? So I can eat. Like, oh man, I gotta eat something.
Gotta have 3 hours. There you go. Get hungry.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. I remember, people hate going to the theater with me because I do that anyway. It could be an hour and a half movie, and I'm still doing that. Like my sister, when the Hunger Games was out, her friend and all, they were like, "Oh man, we gotta go see it," and all. I was like, "Oh man, I'm trying to see it." They're like, "Come with us," It's like, da da da. And I come in with like, hamburgers and fries from like McDonald's, and I was opening up canned soda, and her kids are over there just laughing at me. Everybody in the theater's laughing. I'm like, just laugh. Oh man, it's great. They're like, you're gonna get us thrown out. I'm like, man, they're like 14, 15 years old. They're not gonna do nothing. They don't care.
Shoes. Me and my friend had Chinese time in the theater.
Yeah. I'm not as bad as what's her name in a Scary Movie, Brenda, when she was at the theaters, you know what I mean, with the chicken and they're just yelling at the screen. I'm not that bad, but yeah, I'll bring some grub in there. Man, that movie theater prices sometimes like, ooh, yeah. That's right.
Talking about those movies today. Actually, my coworker, I was talking about the parody of scary movies. That was so good. I was talking about the Wayne brothers and
Yeah, that second one, man. That dude with the hand, man, he gets me every time. Like, I remember the first time I seen it, I was like, I almost had to like soil myself. I almost peed myself when he came out. I was laughing so hard. He's over there just like, oh yeah, give me my strong hand. I'm just like, oh no. He's trying to touch her face and all that. I was like,
yeah,
no, man.
This is my strong hand.
Yep. And then when him and the dude in the wheelchair started roasting each other, I was just like, oh man, this movie, like, yeah, like.
Mm-hmm.
You see, I didn't feel bad at that.
Every time I put that movie on,
yeah.
Every time
I didn't feel bad.
Die laughing. I watched it 1,000 times.
Yes. Yeah, I didn't feel bad laughing at that, but when I went to see that Johnny Knoxville movie, The Ringer, I remember this guy and we were like laughing like that movie, like real loud. I was like, oh, I'm going to hell. Like, oh man, I shouldn't be laughing. Like, oh man, like, But it was a funny movie. I mean, Johnny Knoxville, Jackass. I do want to see Jackass 4 though. I do want to see that.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen that yet. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, cause I've seen them all. I used to watch
Everybody
the show.
Seems to like it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, hi, I'm Johnny Knoxville. Welcome to Jackass. And then just get tore up. Just damn.
Oh yeah.
So I do gotta ask Oh yeah. I remember the one movie where they rented a car, took it to a demolition derby, and then brought it back. You know what I mean? Like, here you go. I was like, yo, oh man, that is so messed up, man. Can you imagine that? You work at a rental place, man. Somebody rents a car, brings it back in the demolition derby. Oh my god.
Man, yeah, I know.
All right, yeah. So before I pass it on back to Remy, I'm gonna ask from wrestling, in your travels and stuff. Do you have any funny road stories that have happened? Like, you're down there in Georgia and stuff, man. I heard they got that like the Bigfoot cousins skunk ape or something. Like, you ever ran into something like that? Some crazy stuff. Like today, man, I ran across 2 buzzards in somebody's yard fighting, like literally fighting, like they're attacking each other. I'm like, where in the world? Like, yeah.
Bro stories. I usually just drive by myself because I don't really. I would love to have somebody with me to have some more something fun to do. But I recently ran it. I don't think not really a fun story, but I ran into a deer. Like this deer ran out right in front of me, so I hit a deer. My car was out for like 2 weeks in the shop, so that was not fun. But I would say a funny story that I was kind of. It has nothing to do with me, but we was basically like driving on the road and like the guy who trained me in Fuego, like the very first time we started wrestling, he was taking us to shows and he had this crazy story where he was talking about he was with his girlfriend one night and they was at his hotel. This might be, I don't know if I want to say this. This might be too much graphic. I don't know if I want to say this. Actually, because it's actually pretty nasty. But anyway, But anyway, that was something I thought of. But there is something. I ain't gonna say the guy's name because I don't want to get into all that. But I went to some indie show. It was like when I was probably my 3rd or 4th match. Maybe it's my 2nd match ever or show ever. And this guy came up to me in Fuego. I remember this. He said he had something in his hand. He's like, hey, you want some of this? And I was like, what is that? He's like, it's cocaine. I was like, what? I was like, yeah. I was like, no, I don't want any cocaine. He's like, oh, then he snorts it. Then he goes out he goes and has a match right after he snorts this, and I shit you not, he jumps over, like he does something like supposed to like a flip over the ropes. He almost killed himself, like legit. So yeah, he almost broke his neck. He had to get carted out, and like literally like seconds before his match, he just snorted like it was like a huge line of cocaine. Like he had like a handful, and he just snorted it and just went out to his match. So that was being that like my first introduction to wrestling. Oh, indie show, you know, I'm young, like 16. What's going on here? Or 17 for that matter. And then he was like, yeah, just try to get these 2 young kids to snort some coke before their match. So that was one of those stories I will never forget.
Yeah, that's kind of messed up, man. Yeah, you can't do that to the young kids, man. Just bring them into that. Oh man, yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I ain't surprised he did get hurt, man. It's like what on Dave Chappelle's show, Rick James said, you know, cocaine's a hell of a drug. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like it mess you up bad. Like, I'm surprised he wasn't in there pooping himself in the ring. You know what I mean? Just like stuff ain't turning brown. God, man.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I'll never forget that, man. That's something that always sticks out to me because I was so young and didn't know what was like. I didn't even know what cocaine looked like. And I was like, it was just so weird, but yeah, definitely. And it happens a lot on indie shows. Like, you know, people just don't. There's a lot of like indie, like really like shows where they book some guys that are really just not made for wrestling, and they just own drugs a lot, and just up to like their you know, the shenanigans or whatever. So you meet a lot of characters backstage. I just put it at that.
That is true, man. Yeah, you meet a lot of characters backstage. Yeah, that is true, man. I'm with you on that. Yeah. Woo. I don't know what I would do. I'm probably like, no, yeah, I'm good. I'll pass on that. You know what I mean? I'm with you on that. Like, no, I'm good. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just start off like you want a cigar. You know what I mean? You know, you want to hit a bowl. You know what I mean? No, you go right to cocaine. Like, oh man, like.
And what made it even crazier is that we had Bullet Bob Armstrong like 2 feet away from us. He was like right there.
Oh man. Man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
He's probably seen it all and stuff, and was probably just like,
yeah, probably so. That was awesome.
Oh.
That's like I wouldn't say a rose story, but that's a good story where I wrestled 3 generations of Armstrongs.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I wrestled Bullet Bob, his son Steve, and Steve's son Stevie Armstrong in a trios match. So that's one of the coolest things I ever done in my life is wrestle 3 generations of Armstrong. You know, rest in peace, Bullet Bob now, but he was so great to me and Fuego when we first started out wrestling in Pensacola. Mm-hmm. He was so nice to us, and he really believed in us when we first started there. We was just young kids, and he wanted to have a match with us because he thought because he saw how good and potential, or you know, saw great potential into us, and we had like a great match. Like our very first match, me, Fuego, and another guy, Dusty. We had a triple threat. That was our very first match on the indie scene, and Bullet Bob. I think he was there that night, and he's like, "Those guys are really good. I want to have a match with those guys." And I would never forget that. So this always warms my heart, and always something I always go back to like, you know, because Bullet Bob, you know, rest his soul, he was always super nice to us and always believed in me and Fuego. And you know where Fuego's at now, and I'm about to be on the rise. So hopefully we're making him proud.
That's right. Yeah, man, shoot. Yeah, not many people can say that, man. They wrestled 3 generations of Armstrongs, you know what I mean, in a match. Yeah, that is awesome, man.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool. I like that.
Thank you, man. That was so cool.
Yeah, man, I wish I would have ref that match, man. Yeah, I mean, being a ref, man, people don't really realize, like, you can be in there on some awesome matches and just be like, oh, man, you know, yeah, cool as hell. Even though I'm trying to be invisible, you know what I mean? I'm just like, yeah, wow, y'all are tearing it up. So, yeah, man, before I pass it on back to Remy, I want to say, thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule, coming on and chat with us. I definitely had a blast talking about gaming and all that good stuff, man. Yeah. And I wish you nothing but the best in everything you do. I hope you, get signed, start traveling the country, winning gold everywhere you go, kicking butt, taking names, man.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Like, you guys, both of y'all, all the kind words. Like, sometimes I feel like I don't even deserve it because I don't feel like I'm where I want to be yet. You know, I still got a lot of growing to do, a lot more to learn, of course. So I appreciate you guys being in my corner and backing me up and really believing in me. More people, on my side, the better. So thank you guys.
Hey, you go in that ring, you put on a show for us, man. So one of our mottos here is that we don't care if you don't make it WB or AW or any of the big leagues. We don't care if, I mean, not saying you're not gonna make it, because I know for a fact you're gonna make it. And if whenever you come to New York, just let me know, hey Remy, I'm here, and I'll point you to certain places.
Thank you.
That, you can check out and whatnot. Because like I said, up here it's rich, and it's not just New York, it's New Jersey, it's Philadelphia. You can go wrestle at. I can't speak for 1CW, but you could probably hit them up.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, they're always looking. You hit them up. Sean Carlson, Sean Hardy, you can hit them up.
Oh yeah, definitely. I hit everybody up to see what I can get. You never know.
You send them, you just send them your resume, all that good stuff, man. So yeah, they get back to you, all that good stuff. Yeah.
Cool.
And plus, we always say that it doesn't matter. The fact that you go into the ring to put on a show for us, the fact that you risk your body, your health to put on a show for us, the fans, we want to hear from you. So that's how we go. That's why when we see the Nightmare Factory, we're like, okay, new class, all right, boom, we're gonna talk to y'all soon. As a matter of fact, we actually, I don't know if you met this guy, but we have a guy tomorrow who's supposed to be on called Rude Dragon from Class 2. He's going to be on with us as well.
I know Rude Dragon. Yeah.
So he'll be our guest for the second time tomorrow, and we've had Diamond Sheik. And the funny thing about this too. I mean, quick story. I'm gonna make it real quick. Diamond Sheik started off on we found him through his brother. His brother, who wore the Scooby-Doo outfit on AEW, told us that there was them. And we managed to get Diamond Sheik on here on our 15 minutes of fandom segment where we interview fans. And then the next thing you know, he's telling us he's going to train at the Nightmare Factory, and he starts sending us videos of him training. And we were like, whenever you make your debut, let us know. We want to have you on our show. And we've had him on for, I think, 2 or 3 times so far. And he's made his debut in AEW. He was the guy that crafted, you probably noticed too, he crafted the Dynamite Diamond ring that MJF wore.
Yeah, Diamond Street, yeah.
Yeah. So we don't really care. And plus, you never know where somebody's going to be in life. You never know. We've had several people that have left that have been on this show and gone on to get signed by AEW, WWE, gone on to do tours overseas. So you never know where somebody is. So we're open to interviewing anybody as well. Heck, if D-Man wants to come, is D-Man's his name, Fuego's little brother?
Yeah.
Or if any of the KBW alumni want to come on here and reminisce about old times, hey, we welcome it. We're open. So
I'll let them know. I will let them know.
And that's not just for us to clout chase, man. We just generally love professional wrestling. Like, we just passionately love it. That's why we started this podcast. But
I can see it, and from just hearing y'all, I can just tell, So
yeah. But with that being said, we're not gonna hold you up. We know you're a busy man. You're a man with a plan, and you're planning your next step in your wrestling career and whatnot. But before we shut this show down, where can fans find you on social media when they want to find out when your next appearance is, when they want to purchase AK47 merchandise, and also where can bookers and promoters find you, especially those in New York, hint, hint, wink, wink, and Delaware, wink, wink, when they want to book you for their shows? I'm speaking into existence, man. I want you up there.
Okay. This right off the bat, my Twitter is the Assassin AK47. I put my social out there, and I appreciate the kind words again, man. Thank you so much for that. You always build me so high up, and I don't know what to say. I don't know. So, the Assassin AK47 on Twitter, the Assassin AK on Instagram. You can. I'm ready for. I'm open for bookings all 2022. Just hit me up on Instagram or Facebook as AK Reed on Facebook. If you have a Facebook, any promoters out there. I'm in the Alabama area, but I'm willing to go anywhere. Like if it's a Saturday, I can if I can make it like 10 to 12. I can go up to 10 to 12 hours drive right now, and I can make it. So that's what I'm doing right now. Even if it's even longer, I'll even drive there. So I'm open for bookings. Like I said, mainly Alabama right now, but if there's anybody in Georgia, Tennessee, Texas, Louisiana, like I said, New York, I'll look up there soon. Probably sometime later this year, probably around like October, November, around that time, I'll be up in New York. Hopefully, that's kind of seemed like the plan at the moment, but we'll see. And yeah, I'm ready for everything. I'm ready to have more matches with guys I really want to have matches with, and new guys I haven't had the chance to meet and have matches with them as well, and just grow as a wrestler and grow as a person and just continue to enjoy life and enjoy what I'm doing. I also want to say my heart goes out to everyone at the Ukraine right now. I know I'm very privileged to talk about wrestling with you guys, but I know a lot of people are dealing with things that they can't really control. So I want to say that before I leave. And so thank you guys again for having me, and I appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Everything. And if you guys want me back, I'll definitely be back because this was great. I love talking to you guys. So appreciate it.
Just let us know, man. Rude Dragon's gonna be on for a second time. We always welcome second man. So just let us know.
Funny thing before I go about Rude Dragon, because I want to say, like, when Rob was talking to me about Nightmare Factory, when I first got there and when I was practicing, one of the first things I did in the ring was with Rude Dragon. And I think it was practicing like the crucifix bomb or crucifix pin. And I accidentally, I think, landed on top of him. And he always remembered that. I think I hurt him a little bit, like, and I'm so sorry, Rude Dragon. I'm so sorry that I landed on you on the crucifix pin. We joke about it. Like, I recently saw Rude Dragon at a show at Pro South actually, and we talked about it. We laugh about it now, but yeah, I remember that happened. That was one of the first things I knew. I was like, yeah, I definitely need more training. I need to do the trail week camp because I was, like I said, that's like my first time being in the ring in like 4 years. So unfortunately, Rude Dragon was on the receiving end of me being kind of rusty, and I'm sorry about that, Rude. Hopefully, have a great show when you're on the podcast again. Thank you.
Yeah. So y'all definitely heard this man is hardworking. He's willing to drive 10, 12 hours. Promoters book this man. I mean, don't book him just because he's Fuego del Sol's cousin. No, this is not an offense. Book him because he's a hardworking man. The man loves this sport. He has a whole channel, 150,000 subscribers, KBW. Check them out. You'll see their humble beginnings. Subscribe. And as I always say, support indie wrestling. If you don't support indie wrestling, Rob here's gonna y'all think he's playing. He'll eat your food. You'll come home and find a skipping rope in your pot. That means you gotta skip that meal because Rob done got your dinner, your lunch, your breakfast. So yeah, he'll get you. Support indie wrestling. That's where most of your AEW and WB superstars come from. And with that being said, it's about time for us to shut this show down. My stomach is grumbling. My eyelids are heavy. So that means it's probably time for a snack and a nap. Maybe not in that order. But before I do that, Rob Bass, the Mel Gibson to my Danny Glover, the Charlie Haas to my Shelton Benjamin, and the Bubba Ray to my Devon. Where can fans find you on social media when they want to talk wrestling, find out your next appearances, and where can bookers and promoters find? Oh, and also when they want to purchase Rob Bass merchandise. As a matter of fact, we have some special merchandise coming up too. And where can bookers and promoters find you when they want to book you for their shows?
Oh yeah, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch at Rob_Bass82, and then Facebook, YouTube, Rob Bass.
Awesome. And also just a reminder, March 25th. Matter of fact, Rob Bass, you plug it, man, because you're actually from there.
Oh yeah, March 26th, you got 1CW, CCW show going on. I'm not sure all the matches going, but you're gonna have people like Big Cass is gonna be there. I think he's wrestling Bad Banks for the belt, at that show. The Renegade Twins are gonna be there. Willow Nightingale's wrestling Lufisto there. I know that for sure. So there's going to be some banger matches out there. So, yeah, definitely check it out if you're in Delaware area. Or you can check it out on DelmarvaSportsNetwork.com. It's daily streamed shows. We're live every Saturday, 10 a.m. So you can check it out. If you miss it, you can just go on to DelmarvaSportsNetwork.com. Check out the replay.
Yes, y'all definitely check them out. A lot of big things going on. And also this Saturday, March 5th, if you're in Conroe, Texas, check out our good friends at Mission Pro Wrestling. Shout out to Jeremiah Wilkerson, Thunder Rosa, and Brian Cervantes. They're doing it big over there in Texas with the women's wrestling. It's called No Debes Jugar. I don't know what that means in Spanish. I hope I'm not offending anybody when I say that, but definitely check it out. You got a lot of big stars there. The Renegade Twins, Kaiden King, the Mission Pro Champ, Holiday, La Rosa Negra, and many more. So definitely, check out that show if you're in Conroe, Texas. And with that being said, if you want to find me on social media, not that I have anything cool to say, but who knows, maybe you'll get lucky and hear me say something cool. You can find me on Twitter at @TheRemyBlue. You can also find me on Facebook as under the alias Remy Blue. And you can also find our podcast on social media. We're on Twitter and Instagram at Ringside Society, Twitch at Ringside Society 2019. We're also on Spotify, Block Talk Radio, and we also have a Facebook group as Ringside Society. And we also have a Teespring store where you can find official Ringside Society merch. We have T-shirts, we have hoodies, we have long sleeve shirts. St. Patrick's Day is coming up. We have the St. Patrick's Day apparel as well too, and we also have coffee mugs for your favorite warm beverage. So definitely make sure you go ahead and grab some merch. All proceeds go back into keeping this show afloat. But with that being said, we just want. Oh, and we also have a YouTube channel as well, which is one of our platforms that we stream on. So when you go on YouTube and type in Ringside Society, you'll see that sweet OMG dark blue and light blue yin yang sign with the blue flames around it. That's when you know it's us. Subscribe to all our videos, and because we got a lot of cool stuff coming up. And check out our other videos, our other interviews like this one, like the one we have with the Diamond Sheik, the bodyguard Austin Green. Heck, we had Katie Hebner, the daughter of legendary referee Earl Hebner. We also had the brother. We didn't even know the brother of Damian Priest, undeniable Michael Martinez, on here. And we have a whole lot of interesting things coming up. And there's more Nightmare Factory where that came from too. So definitely check us out. We're doing big things, and you don't want to miss a thing like Aerosmith in 1998. But with that being said, we just want to thank everybody tuning in tonight live. We really and truly appreciate it. To those of you that are going to listen to us later on, thank you very much in advance. And those of y'all that hate us, can't stand us, really and truly wish we'd go away, well, like myself at a Golden Corral and Rob Bass at a Taco Festival, we ain't going anywhere for a while.
They hate us because they ain't us.
We ain't stopping. But with that being said, we just want to let everybody know that we here are very well and aware that everybody and their grandparents and their parents have a podcast. But we're not your grandparents' podcast. We're not your parents' podcast. As a matter of fact, we're not just any podcast. Hey, yo, Rob Bass, one time for the mind, one time for the people, one time for the wrestling culture, and one time for the Nightmare Factory Class 3 graduate who aims to be different, the Assassin AK47. Bruh.
Woo!
What type of podcast are we?
We're the Wrestling Fans Podcast.
It's like we're the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society, and we will be back tomorrow with another impressive guest, with another impressive episode. But until then, we just want you to do 4, and we mean 4 favors for us. Stay safe, stay healthy, be excellent to each other, and party on, dudes. We out. Peace.
See y'all. Good night. Stay classy, Delaware.
Good night.
Thanks. See ya.